G'day, I'm Ben from CatchPro Australia.
And I'm BJ from TVL Property Maintenance. And this is Lawn Care Skull Sessions.
Hey, pal.
Good, man. What's going on here?
Some dude dropped in.
Hey!
Today we have Lenny Lawler from the Australian Lawn Fanatics, also from the Lawn Rescue Squad. Where else are you from?
Oh, I've got my own little product shop, which
Yeah.
is called ourbiggreenshed.com.au.
Wow, so we'll dive a little bit further into that later on in the show, I'm sure.
Yep.
It's good to get you in. Relatively easy to tee up too.
Yep.
Just a quick text.
Oh, I was worried. I thought you'd cancelled your other podcast to be here. So
No, we do the live stream every second Tuesday, so slot it in nicely.
I couldn't believe it. I thought, Jesus, how important are we getting?
Because BJ and I usually touch base again on like a Friday, and we usually say, look, okay, what are we going to talk about? Rah, rah, rah. And it has been a challenge to get topics lately.
Yep.
And I said, let's just get a guest. And you were the first person that came to mind. And I think within 5 minutes I had it teed up.
Oh, I feel
So,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah,
good.
first one we've had in the shed for a little while since Rob.
Yeah. So this one's sober. So
Hey, speaking of sheds, guess what's happening right now
What's
at my
happening?
house? The formwork is going down for my new slab.
Nice.
well done. Well, I can fucking be I bought a house.
Yay!
So
Yeah, congratulations, Benny.
Well done, mate.
yeah, I bought a half an acre at Hammond.
Yep.
So there is a bit of a risk of floods. It did flood recently, but that was really the reason
Isn't
why.
there a risk of everything right
No.
now? A bit of war, a bit of COVID, bit of food shortage, no AdBlue.
So as long as the CatchPros are still selling, I'll be right. Anyway, how about we get right into today's episode? So Lenny, we know you're based in Brisbane.
Yep.
Did you grow up in Brisbane, or did you just sort of move here from somewhere else? Or?
Born in Sydney.
Okay.
But moved to Brisbane, I think it was probably 9 or 10 years old.
Okay.
Moved up here. But yeah, did all my high school in Brisbane. And so, yeah.
What particular area of Brisbane? Has it always been south or north?
I was a Logan school.
Leroy.
I went to Tropical College at Daisy Hill.
Okay.
Nice.
And then up to school, I did a few jobs working around Queensland and out towards Mount Isa, and I worked up in Cairns, and I worked in the coal mines. And
Okay, so you've been around.
Yeah, been around, done a lot of things.
Okay, cool. And married with kids?
Fiance, 2 kids. Well, between us we've got 5, but 2 of them live in Melbourne, and 3 of them live with us at Mount Gravatt. So
Okay, cool.
yeah.
And so, like, just for everyone listening, have you always sort of been in this field of work? I know you just said that you've moved around and stuff. What sort of work were you doing back then?
So back in the day, I worked for the rugby club that I played for, and I was doing the fields, mowing the fields and marking the lines there. Nothing too technical. It was.
Yeah. Now I'm just having a look at the size of you. You're almost 7 foot. Have you ever played basketball?
No, I was always a rugby man.
Okay.
Yeah, rugby union. Second row.
I play
Second row.
basketball. I play basketball on a Wednesday night. You could probably do all right on our team.
I do nothing now except for work and eat, as you can tell.
So sorry to butt in. You can keep talking about bit of work stuff. So you were just casually doing that stuff at the fields, or
Yeah, I was working
paid
there
work?
full time. Yeah,
Okay, cool,
working
yeah.
there full time, and I really enjoyed it. Sort of got the grass bug of making the fields look good, and trying to make stripes on them and the patterns and all that sort of crap. So I then got lured away to the coal mines up north. So I went up north for 8, 9 years, something like that.
Oh wow! Was that FIFO or were you?
No, I lived in Mackay and drove in and out to.
How long was the drive?
I was on my motorbike, so it was 260 k's. So it was about an hour and 10
Yeah, I
minutes.
was
I thought you were going to say 260 k's an hour.
Yeah.
No, I'm too big on a motorbike. I can't hang on. So yeah, it was Middlemount I was working out of.
Yeah, nice.
So then when I was married at the time and I knocked up the ex-wife there, we decided that the best place for us to bring up the kids was back in Brisbane, because Mackay at the time didn't have a paediatrician, so you had to go to Rocky or Townsville to get any sort of decent, you know.
What time period would that have been?
Oh, that was in the mid-2000s.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, so not even that long.
No. So I was born in 2007, and that's when we moved. We moved just back to Brisbane just before that. So
Yeah.
moved back to Brisbane, and I got a job working at the port working in coal. So it didn't really change subject matters. I was loading coal ships out there at the port of Brisbane, and we lived at Wynnum, just down the road here. And,
Dub Sea.
Yeah.
Ghetto by the sea. We're in Wynnum now, everyone, so
It's okay.
that's why I gave the shout out. Yeah, no, hey, that sounds awesome. So when did you start getting back into, like,
doing lawn stuff again.
Yeah, doing lawn stuff again.
I was doing 4 days on, 4 days off at the port, and I'd split from the wife. So I was sort of bored for 4 days. So I used to go and play a lot of golf because I was trying to get away from it. Yeah, so it all just went to shit for me for a little while, and as things happen. And I thought I wanted to do something with grass again, because I just really enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't commit to doing a weekly, like I wanted to do prestige stuff, premium stuff, because that's what I was used to doing. And I couldn't commit to doing like weekly mows for people, because you doing 4 on 4 off, you can't do a mow every Friday for someone.
Yeah.
Because your roster just doesn't allow it.
Yep.
So I looked around and I saw a couple of guys doing aerating, but there really wasn't much of that industry in Brisbane.
Yeah.
And I
mean, I totally agree. I mean, I don't think it was. I mean, I used to, like, now when I think about it, I used to see homeowners doing that style of work.
Yeah.
But I don't think I even saw a single contractor with any specialised piece of machinery, literally, until I saw the Fanatics.
Even now, they're few and far between.
Well, now
I think there's 1 or 2 guys in Brisbane that way, and one of them was really. I think he's still around, but he's pretty dodgy. He only ever did it for cash, and it was sort of his weekend job. And
Not bad little weekend gig though.
yeah, I suppose.
You throw down some money.
So when you were sort of starting to get back into that process, did you physically start a business, or were you just doing?
I started a business. I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, I'll do it legitimately. And at the time, the Australian dollar was a lot better than the US dollar. I think it was $1.15 or something. Mm-hmm. So I ended up importing 2 machines myself from the US. I hired a few machines from hire shops, and just to get a feel for what was going to be the best for me to use.
Yeah, get your feet wet.
Tell me, the Bluebird was the best, wasn't it?
At what, beating the shit out of you? Yeah.
I've done a 12-acre village with one of those, and I'll never do it again.
Is that the one from down at Darko Equipment?
Yeah.
You spend more time trying to keep the thing level than you do aerating. And because it's got so many spikes on them, they sort of balance, they hold their own weight on unless you're going through mud, you don't get a good aerator.
I'm lucky, I'm a thick boy. That was a good machine to wrangle.
I was 150 at the time.
Yeah.
And it was still...
Nah, turning. If you're going in a straight line, it was okay.
Yeah, as soon as you get a little bit of a slow turn around a garden bed, you start. So I've got a couple of billy goat machines, the little pluggers. I've got a big one and a smaller one, and just went from there. Started a bit of a social media page. Was under the name Lawn Core, and the first guy I got a job with was at Canungra. And the machine hadn't even come in yet. So I was still on a pallet on a ship on the way here. And I said, just be patient, mate, I'll get there. And he was fine with that, because he actually tried to get a guy from the Gold Coast who did professional, lawn stuff. And for his 300 square metres at Canungra, the guy quoted him $1,200 to aerate it.
Oh, wow.
So I said, mate, I'll do it for 200.
Yeah.
First job, let's get off the ground.
So when you started your first initial Facebook business page, what year roughly would that have been in?
Probably.
And the other reason why
2015.
2015. So that's really still at the forefront. Like, I know social media has been around longer than that.
Yeah.
I think tool though.
As an everyday.
You're ahead of the pack, mate.
Yeah, no, that's why I asked, because
more than anything, I think.
Yeah.
Just
Well, it's just that when you're saying that you created a Facebook business page, and like especially that niche market, that is one of the best. Like if you've got an everyday lawn mowing Facebook page, business page, there's so many to choose from, even in all of the areas. But once you've got anything niche and something that can grab people's attention, that's where social media is.
I feel like a dickhead. I started mine in 2014.
Yeah, I mean, I never even got a Facebook personal profile.
You still don't have a business page for greenscapes, do you?
No. And my whole theory was...
You might not need one.
Yeah.
If you're at the point where you're happy with what your business does.
Yeah, so we never... I dived into, LinkedIn and some of the other... where you could contact business people rather than just the end consumer. But my whole theory was I didn't even get a Facebook profile until I think the end of 2012, and that was when my twins were born.
I wouldn't have been much different.
And the reason why I got it was I had so many family members and friends asking for photos of the twins.
Yeah.
I ended up, my wife made me a Facebook profile, and then I could just say, look, just, go on this, or, because, otherwise I was just, doing that stuff all the time. Anyway, it turned into, that's all I do now anyway, but, but for myself, as a business tool, like I never had it for Greenscape Solutions because I didn't want my customers or potential customers to see me, say sharing videos of a rap video or a flight video or just blokey stuff. I just always felt that there needed to be a line. And it's funny, with CatchPro we toe the line a lot and we really mix all of that in, but I just thought for Greenscape Solutions, where you're physically rocking up, you're physically meeting people, I just felt for me that it was going to be too much of a clash in my personal life.
You got to have that separation with your social media, your personal and your business stuff.
We toe the line now with CatchPro just because people are into the products and they want to know more about like where they came from, who created them, what's and it is a little bit more personable. That's what we're finding anyway. But no, I think that's...
Mine's a little bit different. it's not...
You're a bit loose.
Yeah, it's a little bit loose.
Yeah.
Seems to be working.
Yeah.
But see now...
Keep doing it.
Yeah. But see now, even with your business, you're doing so many body corporates and villages and things like that now that end user, that residential client, even if they're not really, like, that's not your target audience.
I could only imagine someone at one of the villages being like, I really like that one video that you did. You really know how to shake it.
Oh, I had enough issues just like having, my parents don't have Facebook, but like I've got aunties and things like that, and I had enough issues with just those types of family members being like, I saw something on your Facebook, and I'm thinking like you wouldn't want to hang around.
So a lot of my mum's side of the family are all ministers in churches. Particularly the Salvation Army.
Yep.
They're like the mafia in the Salvation Army. They are the God Squad. And then I've got all of my mates that I worked for 10 years with at the port. Yeah. So they're all wharfies. Yeah,
so
the messages and the posts that I get from those guys, then I get a message from my auntie. What does that mean? Sorry, Auntie Hayes.
The amount of people we've had to explain the word bukkake to is it's too many.
Well, at least Michelle knows what it is.
She knows
now. When you how did the Facebook side of things, did you find that it was a good tool for this type of business? I know times have changed, but back then, was it a good tool?
Yeah, I suppose it gets your name out there. It was the first guy that I did a job with that he just started his lawnmower, and I stayed around and helped him do most of it. Not just the air. I didn't just aerate and bugger off. I helped him out. Doing a few other things, the shoveling and the all that other crap.
Yeah, nice.
And I said, mate, geez, it'd be good to get a network of blokes together who love this sort of thing and sort of help each other out. So you could get 6 blokes who dive in and know what they're doing, do a lawn reno.
Yeah.
And then you go and do another bloke's lawn.
Yeah.
And then he said you should start a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And I went home and I did, and that's where it all started. So.
Do you owe that guy anything now, or is it just like, nah, it's my idea?
It's all me.
No, I've always given him credit.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, no, yeah, it's great too.
Yeah, and Cameron Spalding, right? And I've been up and done his lawn a couple more times, and I don't think I even charged him.
So the vision of like getting, say 6 guys in was that vision like say 6 guys that all specialise in something else, or is it just 6 guys in terms? Okay, so
just people who love their lawn.
Yeah, just in terms of.
So I might have had that light bulb in the back of my head saying I might get more aerating jobs out of this, but that wasn't the intent.
Yeah.
Networking.
Networking.
It's so big. So that's where Aussie Lawn Fanatics.
The Australian Lawn Fanatics started from that. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it actually started as South East Queensland Lawn Fanatics.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Like February 2015.
Didn't you guys do like a April Fools at one stage?
And turned it to international.
Yeah, international.
Yeah.
But the stupid thing is you can't change it for another month, and then all these people lost their freaking mind. So we don't do funny stuff anymore.
Because I don't even think I was on it yet when you had, like, by the time I even stumbled across the page, it was already Australian Lawn Fanatics.
Yeah.
Now, funny little sidebar, I might have said this on here before, but when I first came out with CatchPro, I did not mess around with, the only thing I did on Facebook was, I would watch old skating clips or, NBA clips, just things that I'm into, right? Never mess with any grass or anything like that on there. But when I came out with the CatchPro, the very first night that we had stock, I remember...
we've talked about this.
Yeah, probably, yeah. But I remember I put a post up, and I believe it was the Monday night
business
post up.
We try to keep it business free, like ad free, because otherwise people spam you with all sorts of shit and you lose the quality of the group. So we specifically Monday night in one post, comment below, and you put yours up.
Yeah, so being a newbie, I've just bunged mine straight on the feed. Had no idea.
Yep. And
I think 2 moderators, I can't remember who they were at the time, immediately messaged me and they're like, respect, but you gotta take that down.
Yeah.
And I just, like, I have never seen, I thought my phone was gonna blow up.
Yeah.
Like I had those, well, our first production run was 10 units and we sold 7 in like 7 minutes. And I just remember like seeing the messages from the moderators and just going like, oh, and just not paying any attention to it.
Yeah, I will, but just hang on a minute. Just go for it.
I've got 3 to go.
Yeah. And so I can't remember. I don't think we actually had a proper social media page. We probably formed one not long after.
Yeah, it was before your website and everything.
Yeah, we certainly didn't have a website. We were selling them on Gumtree.
Yeah.
Gumtree and eBay.
Yeah.
So because I was a full-time contractor, like I didn't envision anything that was to happen later on. But I do always remember the Lawn Fanatics, that very first time. I always remember just like it was like a bulb went off and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is.
And then he didn't sleep that night because he was like, how the hell do I keep up with this?
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, I mean we went through some tough period because we never really. What I used to do is on those Monday nights, I used to wait for the post to come up, and then. Initially, I was trying to get my post in first, my comment in first, and then after a few weeks, it kind of dawned on me, and I was like, nah, you got to let 100 people comment, because then when you put your comment in, those 100 people
see that you've commented on that.
Yeah, they get a notification. So, I mean, believe it or not, I actually found that the dealers were the most responsive. To that rather than the end consumer, because they are different markets. Like you got, all your cylinders and all your, all of that stuff, and then the commercial market or even the residential market where you're using zero turns, they're really different markets.
Yeah,
it's just a similar interest.
I wouldn't say there's too many contractors that aren't on your page though. I'd say there'd be a fair amount that
yeah.
I don't know how many
there would be.
contribute, but I know there'd be some background lurkers. Definitely.
I'm sure they might. And
I'd say
they'd be
there's
there
time,
maybe
yeah.
to get some product knowledge or
and
find out what's wrong with someone's
Yeah,
lawn. You might have a
exactly.
similar.
yeah.
But I also just think it's the passion as well.
And there's beautiful lawns on there all the time. So I'm just
Yeah.
like,
But there's
I mean-
absolutely a need for contractors groups because that's where you get your similar
Yeah.
work environments and your network and you can discuss those problems.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
there's
absolutely.
absolutely a niche for both.
No, it's good.
Absolutely.
So when did you initially or personally start the Australian Fanatics page?
Yep.
Or okay, and was it like something that was a pretty manageable system, and then you started delegating, or did it blow up pretty quick?
Yeah, I invited everyone I knew to join the Fanatics. I added everyone I knew because you had to get, at that stage, had to get over a certain number of members in your group so that outside people would actually see the group.
Yeah, the algorithms.
Oh,
and
sure.
stuff.
Yeah. So I just invited everyone I knew, and from that, some of those people invited other people.
yeah.
But it got to, I think, it took a year to get to 100 people
Okay.
in South East Queensland.
Yep.
So, and then we had guys from Bundaberg wanted to join, and guys from Northern New South Wales wanted to join, and we're like, but we're South East Queensland.
Yeah.
And the guys in Bundy are going, yeah, but we're South East Queensland. We're like, you're 6 hours away.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and I mean, even now, I get invited to all of those small communities.
yeah, so
And-
I wake up in the morning and I'm a member of 4 different groups.
Yeah, well, so
Yeah.
no disrespect to anyone who's trying to add me, but like I just
You got
I can't
that
handle
yeah.
I can't handle any more of the same content. Like you need to either get amongst LMCA, Aussie Lawn Contractors, or the Lawn Fanatics, or it's not.
It's just
Like
too much.
those platforms, all of those platforms are blown up in their own right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really where it's at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like,
And a
you
lot of
really
the
have
time-
everything that you need. The only time that you need those local support groups is if you literally,
Trying to network with someone.
trying to
in
do
your-
business
yeah.
with someone.
The thing with LMCA and the Aussie contractors is you'll see the same people post the same thing on both pages.
Yeah, so
Looking for a
I'm
different opinion. Or
I'm currently trying to get those groups back together. Now, I don't think it's going to happen, but it's a pain in the ass for people like us because you might have a new product that you want to share, and you might share it to one page and you forget to share it to the other page. Then someone contacts you and you end up losing you end up losing where you're at.
Yeah.
So
Just copy and paste. Copy and paste it straight across.
Yeah.
yeah, but then what? Because like I know when other people do that, then your news feed ends up getting clogged. Like you'll see so and so, and you'll just see their 2 posts on each respective page,
Yeah.
and it's a real pain in the ass for anyone who has to do
Yeah.
it. So from that point, like when you initially started up the Lawn Fanatics,
Yep.
like what was your business doing at that point? Were you getting busy or
Always.
still building that?
Yeah, very much still building it. I had every intention of staying at the port until I retired, but just doing aerating on days off when it suited me, booking those jobs.
Was
Yeah.
it pretty crazy at the port or was it hard work?
Well, it was 12 and a half hours.
Yeah, so it was
4
That's
days
hard.
on,
Yeah.
4 days off, 4 nights on, 4 days off.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
physically the job changed a lot.
Yeah, that'd fuck
As-
with my head real bad.
As we,
I like to have like a routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always
Constantly tired. You could have a nap at any
Yeah,
minute.
I used to do 10, 12-hour shifts.
I reckon it was like
all the time.
doing shift work is like being constantly jet lagged because you're trying to get different time zone all the time.
I would totally, but like I know that like I would be like an anxious ball of shit if that you know what I mean. I'd just be like, oh, where am I supposed to be right now? I like things like structured and stuff like that.
So we went from actually getting out and doing a lot of physical work to essentially just being control room operators.
Yeah.
Pushing a computer mouse around, but we'd have to still drive bulldozers.
Yeah.
And the like, but mostly we're just joystick jockeys. So
Nice.
So physically, no, it wasn't a hard job, but it was a long hours.
Yeah.
Long hours.
And that gets you too. Long hours.
Yeah.
Doing anything is going to get you eventually.
Yep.
So with the social media, when would that have, roughly what year would that have really started to blow up? In terms of like, let's say you're at 10,000 members.
So we changed to Queensland Lawn Fanatics because of the geographical stuff. Mm-hmm. We couldn't really give people an answer. And we got to, I think it was 3,000 members, and there was we'd heard through other sources, other companies, that other people were going to start an Australian Lawn Fanatics. We thought, well, no, that's our baby.
Yeah.
You know, if we're going to do it, we'll do it right, sort of thing. We'll do it our way. Because our way had been pretty successful. People were happy and everyone was talking about it. So we'd been in the newspaper a couple of times and on the radio and stuff. So we changed it in 2017 to be Australian Lawn Fanatics, and probably within 9 months, a year, it was 10,000 members.
Yeah, because I mean, I think, like I said, I hadn't come across it until I'm sure I hadn't come across it until it was Australian Lawn Fanatics.
Yeah.
And I remember by the time I discovered it, there was a significant presence there.
Yeah.
Like it was already, like I was already like whoa.
Yeah.
And like I said, the response that I had gotten.
Mate, I'm still blown away every day. I wake up and say, how the hell do this many people want to follow what we do?
Yeah. So even when because I can't remember if I used to try and hit you up or not, or maybe I used to try and hit someone else up. But I was obviously always trying to get amongst it.
Yeah.
You know, like trying to, just... I was known in the industry as a pest to just... just work my way...
My phone pings all day, every day.
To just work my way into those situations. And I remember thinking to myself, because... my brother-in-law Josh got involved. He got my website going, and he was very savvy with all of that stuff. I was, I was a mower man. I used to build catches. I didn't know about marketing and sales, but I remember we were having a discussion, and we were looking at So my American reseller Corey, he's got like 40,000 followers on Instagram, and I think Josh had done the analytics and sort of said, like, pretty much once we get to say 10 or 15,000, that's as much as you can really grow in your own market.
Yeah.
That's in the contractor market.
Yeah.
So I was absolutely blown away, when you see, I think the next time I checked back, you were already at like 70,000. And it must have been hovering.
What we look at before, 86 and a half.
86 and a half.
We've got more members than the Liberal Party.
Yeah, I mean, that is just like...
I couldn't believe that. I nearly fell over when I saw that yesterday.
Well, I know we've got lots more to unpack, but I want to take this opportunity to say congratulations for building such a great community.
Thanks, bud.
I've just always thought it was amazing the way that everyone can network together. Whether you're in, I've seen posts on there where there's single mums.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, I'm trying to get my yard looking decent for the kids to play in. What's this weed? And you have a whole list of people that are like, oh, that's so and so. You can go pick up this product from here, and you can do that. And I just think it's great.
It's good. It's a really good community. You guys set the guidelines at the start.
And we've been pretty hard on that. Well, look, to be honest, at the start it was loose.
Was it?
Oh yeah, it was everything. It was anything goes. It was like blokes in their lawns.
Yeah.
And then we had some companies who were interested in doing things with us, but they said, look, the language, we don't want out.
I think that's where we
don't want our
Maybe that's where we're fucking going wrong on the skull sessions.
Don't want our brand associated with that sort of stuff. Well, there's an opportunity to do something here, so we deleted all those old things. We actually went back and deleted all those things.
Oh wow, that's a big effort.
Yeah.
Imagine doing that on
Imagine if we had to go through and bleep out all of our stuff.
Yeah,
on all of our past podcasts.
Man.
I got enough trouble with the spelling.
BJ dropped the first seed bomb the other week on this.
Did he?
That's supposed to be our only rule. Apart from that,
Count Dracula.
I think we got that, racism, sexism.
Yeah. homophobic
that stuff. Yeah, any of the real bad stuff. That's that's supposed to be our only rule.
Yeah.
BJ breaks it straight away.
Yeah.
It was an accident.
Apparently, I broke it last week too, but apparently it wasn't.
It wasn't as loud as I did.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You got away with it, and I got bombarded.
But yeah, if you want to drop the F-bomb on here, dudes, just go for it because they're all waiting for it.
I was expecting fuck off.
We don't have any. Well, we do have one sponsor, Bad Workwear.
Yeah.
Good boots, man. They are good boots. I've worn a pair for a while.
Hey!
I've got some arthritis issues in my toes, so I can't actually wear steel caps. Or the ones that I do wear are $400. So
I would assume trying to find a pair of boots that actually fit your feet would be challenging, right?
No, they're only size 12, mate.
Okay. That's pretty big. I'm a size 9, so that's pretty big.
I'm 11 in these.
Well, I've got funny shaped feet because I'm 201 centimetres tall.
Yeah.
So having a size 12 means my foot is very high arched and.
So 201. What's that? Like 6'5"?
7.
6'7".
Give us some of your age.
5'19".
I got funny shaped feet because I'm fat. So there's so much weight pushing down on them. They're flat as a fucking doormat. So if I can have some of your arch, you can have some of my weight.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I was about to say, I hope you're not looking at me. My arch is apparently collapsed.
Mate, my 13-year-old son has got size 11 shoes. So
jeez.
He's pinching my thongs now.
Does he play basketball?
No.
Okay.
He does karate.
Ben's recruiting.
He does karate and he's still a Jedi.
Oh. Well, maybe if this guy from Mackay comes down to beat me up, you can just send your son over to come for his ass. So, all right, back to the show. So, roughly what time period, what year? So it'd be roughly in 2017. That's when things started. That's when you moved to Australian Lawn Fanatics.
Yeah.
And that's when shit really started blowing up.
Yeah.
What was the business like at that point? Like, obviously, you're still doing the other job.
Yeah.
And were you still thinking at that point, like, oh, okay, I'm just going to continue this, or you weren't ever really thinking, like, I'm just going to.
It got to the point where I had that many inquiries for aerating, and then people said, "Can you do scarifying?" Well, I guess so. So I bought a scarifier.
Yeah.
And then the inquiries got more and more and more to the point where we actually, one of the guys in the group who was a casual worker in the construction industry was, he was missing a lot of work sort of thing. So ended up buying extra machines. So any money I made from aerating was put aside. Mm-hmm. I just lived off what I earned at the pool. So any money I made aerating was used to upgrade or buy new machinery.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the way it is. So I've never borrowed money to do anything. It's always been just on money that we've made. So
did you ever have visions, like, because when I hear about this story and when I think about maybe some of the opportunities now, I've been known to think big.
Yeah.
But like I always think, like, man, this could have turned out like a fucking Backyard Blitz, or what are those other? That was one of the shows, eh?
Innovation Rescue.
Yeah. Stuff, like. But like. Did you ever have visions of, like, say,
a franchise?
TV or franchise?
No.
Or you never had?
Probably, the Lawn Rescue Squad, maybe. If I suppose if people are interested in franchising that in different cities, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I have that thought, but TV, no.
Yeah, I mean, the franchise model almost seems harder.
Yeah.
Than the TV model. No, that seems far-fetched, but like just literally, weren't you guys on the project last night?
Yeah.
I mean,
Glenny.
That's bloody.
No.
Yeah, shout out to Gibbo. I didn't see it. I only just learnt about it before we were shooting. But like that, those possibilities. I mean, you guys, I'm sure, would have people reaching from all directions, right?
Well, as we said, got more members in the Liberal Party, so I'm expecting a call from ScoMo.
Tactics.
It's funny, hey, we've got members everywhere. One of our members is actually a federal police officer on the close protection unit, so he works with, he looks after all those guys all the time.
I would imagine. Like, I mean, you think of 80,000 members.
Yeah.
You're going to have some sort of celebrities or.
Walks of life.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got Shannon Knoll.
Yeah.
We've got who's Nigel Ruck. Used to be on the Jamie Jury one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay,
Bobby guy.
Yep.
I think Jason Hodges is in the group. There's a few of those.
I think
that ilk.
is Jason Hodges the
Lawn Solutions guy. Yeah, he was on.
was he the Better Homes and
Yes. Yeah.
yeah? Well, I believe he's one of our good mates from CatchPro, Ian Stathers. I believe they're mates, or they've done some sort of business. So you know, like it's a small world, really.
Yeah.
But like all of that networking, you know, like I said, I just think it's fantastic.
Speaking of networking, do you have, now that you're so big and across Australia, do you have like experts in every state?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you might have.
Yeah.
I know there's
So
a
we've
lot
got
of people.
guys who. The way it's worked out is there's a lot of guys who work in the industry who are, you know, greenkeepers and stadium managers and all that sort of guy. They often won't put their name forward because they'll get criticised. So if they see an answer to a question that someone doesn't know, they might message me and say, hey mate, this person put up a post, their answer is this. And so I'll do that.
Yeah.
On behalf of them, use my name to do it because I don't give a shit.
Makes you look super smart.
Well, that's it. I always make those. Okay. But some of those technical guys are real, you know, stadium managers. They won't put their name forward.
Mate, my hat's off to anyone who can keep their lawn as schmick as some of the ones that are on there.
Mine's gone to shit because I don't have time to do it as much.
Mine, maybe it's just me, but your lawn's pretty nice all year round. But mine gets away from me when it's busy.
Oh, mine is nothing.
You have to learn the primo life.
My lawn is never like I would never post on that page. My lawn only looks good when I've just mowed it.
I'll post a customer's lawn and pretend it's mine, but not.
I've had pictures of my lawn show up in weird places like the ABC in Tasmania.
Really?
Used it for a promo, and it's like that's my lawn. I always people sending.
I remember I took a post from Australian Lawn Fanatics. I didn't take credit for it. I took a post from there and I posted it on, I believe it was Stripe Life or maybe one of the other American pages.
Yep.
To just, you know, get a little bit of Aussie presence.
Yeah.
And it was very underwhelming. Like I had a couple of people who were like, oh, you know, that's cool. And I'll tell you, this was like a mint as, like, I don't think there was a fucking blade of grass out of place. And these dudes are just looking at it like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, and I'm thinking like...
You're about 3 inches short.
3 inches.
Right.
I'm thinking like, but, you know, it's crazy how different those two markets really are.
Yeah.
Sorry about my accent, any American listeners?
Yeah. Don't call them Yanks, man. They fucking kill you for that.
Seppos.
We're going to get mad.
We have...
Don't get me wrong, we love our American audience, by the way, and shout out to those guys at Stripe Life.
Yeah.
But it's always amazing for someone like me who likes to have a look at different markets, and because there are places that are comparable, like I think maybe Florida is supposed to be one of the more comparable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brisbane's pretty close to Miami.
So that's what I understand too. Well, that's what the research says.
I got a bit of love for my trailer. I got a little bit of love.
Yeah, no, you do get
a bit of love, mate.
Oh, I wish I got more. No way I could, you know, go and strut over in the US.
Yeah.
And know who I would be.
I've got a bit of a relationship with some of the better known YouTubers and Instagram guys over there.
Okay.
So
can you name drop anyone?
So Jeremy of the Greener Lawn. We do some stuff with him.
Okay.
The Lawn Tools.
Oh, true.
Yeah, Jordan Netzler's a Facebook friend.
They do awesome stuff.
There's a couple others.
They're pretty funny. They got good content.
Yeah. We've had some Mark Leishman, the golfer.
Oh, yeah?
There's Aussie Pro golfer. We do stuff with him. But yeah, Jeremy's probably the biggest one because he has his annual stripe-off competition. The first year we had it, all these people entered and he goes, oh, how good are all these American lawns? And I had to point out to him that 7 out of his top 10 were Australian lawns. And he was most disheartened. And so he took it the next year that it was a US versus Australia competition.
Oh, true.
Yeah, and nice. We beat him. I think we beat him 15-5 out of his top 20. So excited by that. So
I definitely think in the American market, if they came here and walked on one of our lawns and saw it in real life, they'd be able to appreciate that much more. Whereas I think because I look at like some of their drone shots, and I just love some of those American suburbs, you know, they're like
big blocks.
Yeah, you know, like they got an acre lot, and it's, you know, you don't have these bullshit trees in the middle of the, you know, you don't have anything.
The houses are so close together, you can't even get a bloody 216 on it.
They've got things set up nice, and then they run those drones, and you see them striping up. It looks great, but I think, you know, like when you start walking on it, and you can feel it tickling your ankle, you're kind of like, oh no.
I think it would be good grass to pass out on, but
no.
The cool season, it depends. Cool season stuff.
It'd be like a big cuddle, wouldn't it? You'd lay down and it'd be tickling.
Ryegrass can be good, longer. But
imagine trying to have a root on it.
Everyone would know you've been there because there'd be a shot.
Yeah,
especially me, there'd be a divot in the ground. And then there'd be...
There's St Augustine, which we call buffalo grass, they're passionate about that at 5 inches long. It's like,
really?
Yeah, I know blokes who mow it at 11 mil.
Wow.
And they cannot get that round their head that stuff will grow. If you real mow it, like cylinder mow it, at 11 mil, it'll be okay.
Yeah, now quickly while you just started busting out some facts, so what did you say, buffalo is their Augustine?
St Augustine, yep.
So like, do they have like what's their cooch? Bermuda,
yeah.
Okay. Do you know if they have like a, you know, I mean, I've never really been out of Queens. I mean, I have, but I've never looked at grass outside of Queensland. But you know how we got like Queensland blue cooch?
Yeah, which is
it's fucking blue, right?
Pretty much. I think it's from somewhere in Africa, like Madagascar or somewhere like that.
Okay. Do they have that shit over there?
No, I don't think so.
Because
digitalis didactyria or some crap like
that.
Because I find
a scientific name that's ever been thrown out on this podcast.
They're mostly green cooch.
Yeah, yeah. Because I've just noticed, like blue cooch, it looks great and everything, but it's hard to work with, isn't it?
It's not technically a cooch because it doesn't have rhizomes.
Okay.
It just is stoloniferous, so it just has the above ground runners and the 10 pegs holding it down. So in that way, it's similar to buffalo.
Yeah. So like when I've got a spot here at my yard right now. I've got I'll do my yard. I'm on half an acre. I'll do it with the Skag when I haven't been able to get to it, or if I've got tons of leaves, I'll use the Skag and the CatchPro. Otherwise, I use a Bush Ranger battery mower.
Yeah, I got it. Great.
Yeah.
Just a cut, little beauty saver.
Yeah, so, but you do have to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
Like, if you let it go too far, it becomes too much of a big job. Now, I've got, native buffalo.
Carbon grass.
Yeah.
It's great.
BJ loves it too. The reason why I don't like it is in winter when it goes dormant. That's when I don't like it. Because it's very rare that you have like a whole property of the native buffalo.
Yeah.
It usually just shows its face in amongst everything else.
But it grows where other grass won't. So
that's why it grows, yeah.
That's right. So if you don't love it, and you get rid of it, you're gonna end up with bare patches.
Oh, I would not even try. Jack Hamilton. Do you know Jack Hamilton at all? He came down and he bought some stuff, and he was looking around, and he's obviously right into this niche stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can waste that for you. I can do this, rah. And then I ended up saying to him,
when the messages in meeting says, "What can I use to waste this stuff?"
Yeah. So I ended up saying to him, anyway, once he had a bit of a look around, he said, there's actually more of this than what I thought.
Yeah.
Like, you can just see it everywhere. But what I was getting at, the point of my story is, when I've got a pipe that I dug under the ground from my pool and everything, and there's blue cooch on top, and the pipe must be leaking. And you can see it's like it's getting dense. Like, it's not that high, but it's just getting dense.
Yeah.
And unless you're legit just taking like the top off, the blade will just grab it, and it'll just look like someone's gone like and just grabbed at it. And it's because what you're saying with the creepers, and they just goes like, and it just looks like you're punching a hole in it.
For anyone not watching, Ben just made a good gesture with his hands.
Yeah, sorry, I forget that this is a show that people listen to.
Yeah,
we have it on YouTube and people can watch it, but
Go back and give us a view.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it. I've never watched it.
have you?
I'll listen to it when I'm on the mower.
Yeah, I think the majority of people listen to it, and there's a couple. I mean,
No, we have a couple of
like-
we have a couple of dedicated people who love watching the show.
That's true.
So, I think you can usually get better audio out of watching it on your TV and stuff, rather than in your ears with the machines and stuff. Unless you're using ISO tunes on it.
That you get from CatchPro.
No,
You're right on the plugs. With the Australian Lawn Fanatics, did that bring out any other opportunities? Back say 2 or 3 years ago, whether it be advertising opportunities or just more business opportunities, or were you just living in the moment and being like, hey, I'm starting an awesome community and group, we're helping people, and this is what I'm enjoying for the moment?
We've always tried to keep it as its original, I suppose, ethos, which is a lawn community that helps each other, a network that helps each other. There have been opportunities there. We've always sort of turned away from advertising as such.
I know that from personal experience.
Yeah, well, I'll take it now. what we have done is the associate links. So there's discount codes that you can use for retailers, and we'll get a sales commission from those.
Yeah, do you want to plug anything now on the show, or because
it's the same discount code, which is capital letters AUSLF. So if you went to Plant Doctor, if you went to Lawn Care Supplies, if you went to Lawn Hub, if you went to Water Pro or My Shop, which is our big green shed, you'll get a discount using those codes.
All right, remember that, everyone, and we might be able to. Can you put them in the links?
Yep, they'll be
sure.
Just put mine in, don't worry.
Yeah, no. You got the best of everything. Now, do you want to talk a bit about Lenny's shop? Because I need to get some stuff.
Sure, man.
Special code.
Yeah, mate.
Can I use
trade
skull?
price. Yeah, we'll work out.
Can I use skull?
We'll work out a trade price.
Skull all in caps.
So what's it all about, pal?
So the concept was, I suppose myself using lawn products, I want to buy, say, Seaweed Secrets from Plant Doctor because it's a bloody good product. But I wanted to buy granular fert from Lawn Care Supplies because they sell ICL, which is the world's best granular fert. I want that stuff. I want to buy something else. That's 3 or 4 different shipping fees.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And I thought, why isn't there one place that does all of this stuff? And I went, bugger, why isn't there? And then I thought, how hard can it be? And I had a discussion with a couple of people, and they wanted to stock products in a shop.
Yeah.
But they wanted to be the only people who stock products in my shop.
That sounds like me.
And I was, no. I want to do a multiple of things. Originally, I wanted to do what they call drop shipping. So I just list all these products, like wish.com sort of.
Yeah.
So I list all the products, and if someone buys, if I have a CatchPro listed, I get the sale, but you get the email saying send it to here. And then if they also bought a bag of fert, that might be Lawn Care Supplies, send it. But the issue we couldn't get around was the transport fees.
Yeah.
And so we went, you know what, we'll try and get one person to do it for us. And that was going to be a company called K&B Adams in Melbourne. They were going to stock everything for us and do it for us. So the whole thing, I never wanted to touch a product.
Okay, yeah.
I always wanted to be someone else does it. I'll just use my profile, I guess, to get some exposure for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
So you should, man.
But K&B Adams has been awarded East Coast distributorship for a couple of big companies now, very recently. So they're madly scrambling to find warehousing in Brisbane and Sydney because they're not here yet.
Oh, okay.
So they're South Australia and Victoria, and they're the oldest company in the products game in Victoria and South Australia, particularly in golf.
Yeah.
But they're huge, and they're just so respected, like it's not funny. But yeah, so they're coming up here.
Nice.
And they just said, look, we just can't do it. I said, well, fuck it, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that's like, I know when we've chased products, we've tried to do drop shipping.
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic model. Some people think, so we have, I don't even know, I don't think I've ever talked about this, but our dropship products that we have personally at CatchPro is like this stuff, like, mug, bottle, some of the CatchPro hats, some of the shirts. I don't believe we do any actual products.
Just merchandise.
More merch. All of our bad stuff, I do keep, I have to stock a certain amount. So it's not a dropship model, but I don't have to...
part dropshipping, sort of.
Well, no, so it's not a dropship model at all, but I can order, like if someone puts an order in, I can order that. They won't drop ship it. That's not the way that they do business.
Yeah.
But that's what I initially approached them, because just like what you were saying, if you're looking at clothing, you've got 10 styles of shirts with 4 different sizes and 3 or 4 different colours.
Yeah.
Now, that's a fuckload. So for anyone else out there...
That's a nightmare to stock that stuff, to hold the stuff in your warehouse.
Yeah, but not only that, it's the actual financial part of it too.
Yeah,
so
it's a huge outlay for a small company to buy 150 shirts so that you can stock every colour and every size.
And when you sell one, you might make like $11 or something. And it's like, you know what I mean? You have to really be moving that stuff.
And then you'll still get questioned, how the fuck can they sell it at this price?
With the Lawn Fanatics, with the Lawn Fanatics, we did merch. We did it. And it was just became that big of a pain in the ass that we just went, stuff it. I'm not doing it. I stopped it all at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I had... the IKEA shelves, the cube ones. I've got 2 of those that are the 16 hole things. I've got 2 of them stocked to the arsehole with merch. People wanted hats. We want good quality hats. All right, so I've got flex fit hats, which are so good, so comfortable. They cost me like $28 each with embroidery and stuff like that. And I was selling them for like, I think it was $45, which included shipping. And shipping was like $10 a hat. So I think I was making about $4 a hat.
Yeah.
And people were saying, I don't want to buy it, it's too expensive.
Yeah, it's really tough. Like we...
bugger it, I'm just not going to do it anymore.
Lots of people have asked us about merch and things like that. It's like we really have to... You can
either sell cheap crap and then people will go, well, it's cheap crap. Or you can do the expensive stuff and people go, it's too expensive.
Yeah, well, that's where we were talking to Rob about the Skag merch store. They don't make any money on what they've...
So the way that they set theirs up is they just break themselves even and they just want to have it out there because it helps build the brand.
Yeah.
We actually do something similar with just our... because we're doing these Richardson hats now. And they're drop shipped from America.
Yeah.
And we just put a couple of dollars on it.
They're good hats.
And it's because then it gives you something that is good quality. And if we don't sell it, if I sell 2 a year, I don't give a fuck. Like it hasn't cost me. No, it hasn't cost me anything. Whereas when we were doing some of the other stuff, we had camo hats for a while. I had to buy like 200.
Yeah.
And
because you put it down and then you can't see it again.
And then I think what ended up happening was people were asking them for free. Like, if I buy a catcher, can I get a free hat? And it's like
your stickers.
The stickers. It's classic. Like, I'll put it on my trailer, and it's hard for me because I want to do it.
Yeah,
I want them to have it. Like I wish I could, and I think today there was a post on LMCA earlier. I woke up to it, and it was, I think someone was asking for a code. They wanted to buy an item, they're asking for a code, and a few other people are like, really codes are for bulk orders and stuff like that. And I didn't even respond, but like if I could, I'd have a code on everything.
Yeah.
You're like, I want to be able to do it. It's just you can't do it. Like it's exactly the same as the contractor market. You can't do shit for free.
No,
you just won't. It's gonna end up being bad in the long run.
Because ultimately, I mean, a lot of the time when you do your profit and how much things cost, you like with the Fanatics merch, I didn't take in, deliberately didn't add in my time.
And
then my time to take it to the post office.
Well, how long did it take you to do up all the hats when you got the new CatchPro hats happening? You were like,
well, because
it took me forever.
I'm very special on a computer. See, Josh used to handle all that stuff, right?
Mm.
So, you know, like, I mean, I had, like, I didn't even know where, like, my logo files were, you know, and then, like, I'm literally just winging it. And then, you know, had to pay for all the samples and, you know, stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely takes some time to mess with all.
Yeah.
Like, I think when I first got these Benny Hoover shirts, I think when the sample came to me, this was like 10 centimeters that way, which I didn't like.
Yeah.
But when you're doing it on the computer screen, it doesn't like tell you where you're at. It's just like you kind of just eyeball it.
When I did some bearded lawnsman shirts, they were all the way over here. I was like, what?
Yeah, and then we got
so bad.
And I'll tell you what, we tried to do some of this locally, not drop ship, just use a local company.
Yeah.
And I remember, and so I remember we got some singlets. We had the Benny Hoover logo, and we don't want anything to be like real loud. We just want it to be like a plain-ish shirt with something little on it, you know. And so really nothing on the front, just on the back. My wife comes home with all this stuff and she's pulled out the first singlet and there's this fucking big skull on the front. And I'm like, what's going on here? And she's like, oh, hang on a minute. She's looked through 10 shirts and literally I just fucking threw them in the bin.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do anything with them.
Yeah.
And it was like 300, like, because we bought the blank shirts and everything. I ended up saying, well, fuck that. We'll just go do it over here.
Yeah. But I mean, there can be good things getting through merch companies. Like, I got these made. And they, as a work shirt, they're 50 plus, they're long sleeve. They cost me $55 each.
Yeah, nice.
But I got to buy 20.
Yeah.
But they come from China because I couldn't get them done in Australia. But they took their time. But I got to. Then you get samples. Then they come and you say yes for production because they show you an actual physical sample.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not tripping on anything that like the bad workwear, for example. I'm wearing the jeans right now, made in China. I'm telling you now, like, amazing quality. When you've got an Australian or say a Western business behind it, you know, using the right materials, the right techniques and everything, China's just a place for cheap labour.
Yeah.
When they're behind something and they skimp on everything, that's when it's like, okay, you know, maybe that's not the best quality. But you pay what you get, you know?
Yeah, the businesses I know who have done business in China and have things made there, if they have a guy there overseeing, the quality is top notch.
Yeah.
And I think
if you just let them run for it.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing too. Like, we get over pretty well with stuff, you know, being Australian made, but I think the stigma about Chinese products, I know this is a huge sidebar, but that's actually giving Australians like me an opportunity to have an Australian business by taking, you know, really taking advantage of that cheap labour. Yeah. And I think it's great. Look, would I love it to be in Australia? Yes, I would. But you just got to you got to, otherwise you can't be successful.
Yeah, like at the moment I'm looking at doing some soil probes so people can get soil tests done. To get it made in Australia, I don't worry about time, just keep going. To get it made in Australia is, no one wants to do it, and if you want someone to do it, they'll only do it, you know, quantities of 1,000.
Yeah.
So I can get them done through Alibaba. There's up to 1,000 people who will do it, and they'll charge me like $10 each.
Yeah. So I'm going to give everyone a visual example right now. So this is a flange pin that we use on the CatchPro, and it's, you know, basically just a piece of bar with an 8mm thread on it. Now in Australia these cost me $12.95, and in China they are it might be $1.75 US. Now we pay a ton for shipping because they're heavy when you ship them.
That's right, you're paying for weight.
But when you get it over here, like when we first came out with the CatchPro with all of these components, because everything was even if we had gotten the latches sourced from Australia locally,
Yeah.
it still originated in China.
Yeah.
Now we're just going direct.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, I think if we had stuck with this, you know, being sourced in Australia for, you know, however long we did, we wouldn't have ended up making a profit at all.
No,
it really comes
and
down.
and then the product doesn't go to market because it just becomes to the point where you're going to lose money on it.
And there's no quality difference, is there?
Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, metal's metal.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I
the
mean?
metal's probably made over there, and they bring it
Yeah,
here.
they smelt it here, smelt it over there, and then send it back over here.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of stuff that we learned.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I love all of that sort of stuff as well, like getting into the business side of the business. But you know, it's definitely one of those things where I think Australians can really capitalise. Now, I'm not talking about drop shipping businesses where you find a product on Wish.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have something that you develop,
That's
or
it, yeah.
you know, something that is co-sourced. You know,
Like
stuff
something
like
a little bit unique. Not
Yeah.
something where there's 58,000 sellers with the same product.
Yeah, it's like when we all started our lawn mowing businesses and you went to Vistaprint and you
And you got the
chose.
same card?
Yeah.
Share them cards and,
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah, so like I remember I had a client and they ended up saying like, oh, I got one of your cards or whatever, and then he's like, oh hold up, I've got two of them, and then they're like, and then he's like, oh, they got different numbers, they got different names. And he had two business cards legit the same. One was mine, one was another contractor.
It's the,
Probably
green,
mine.
it's the green shield thing with the mowing guy on it, and it's
Yeah, like a yellow, and then, I think it was probably my card. I probably went and dumped it all
Oh no!
behind
This is bloody
back
years
in the
ago,
day.
and it ended up. I think it was a picture of like one of those walk behind slashes.
yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, I guess it's like that. So getting back to the show,
Yeah.
what's the future for Lenny Lawler and the Lawn Fanatics? Like, where are you going? Where do you want to be?
So I took a voluntary redundancy from the port because the coal industry in southeast Queensland.
Paid one.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So from that, I bought a truck, an Isuzu truck, and paid off all my debt.
Wow! Congratulations.
Well, I didn't have a lot of debt, but I paid
Okay.
it all off. So we I don't own a house in Brisbane. We rent.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 110 acres out near Dalby that has got an old house on it. And
Well, you don't need a house in Brisbane then.
that's
do
it,
you?
mate. If things turn to shit in Brisbane, I'll
Yeah.
I'm following you.
110 acres.
Yeah. So I hit the first year. So I took a redundancy. It was in August.
Mm-hmm.
So lawn renovation season is traditionally September. And so for that first spring, I worked 9 days a week, 15 hours, and near killed myself. Like come February, I was rooted. Like I could hardly get out of bed in the mornings, and it was just so hard. So for me, it's you got to work hard for those 4 or 5 months because there's no renovations in winter.
Yeah.
So come winter, I get a phone call from someone who said, hey, listen, this guy has done his shoulder and I need someone who can do mowing for us 3 days a week, or 4 days a week, of course. It ended up three days a week, and then it ended up 4 days a week. The guy had a reconstruction and he come back. It was a little golf club. And he was back for 3 weeks and then quit, left me holding the bag. It's like, well, I'm not a greenkeeper. I've never claimed to be a greenkeeper. I'm not qualified in this at all. And you want me to run a golf course. That's not fair. So anyway, I said, look, I'll stick it out for a little while because, it was winter.
Yeah.
So come the next season, I went back to doing renovations, but I was still doing 3 days a week there, but it was sort of, you'd start at 6 and then you'd finish at 2, and then I could do a renovation after that.
That's still hard, yeah.
It's still hard yakka, and then
Starting at 6 these days is like, I mean, I know you do it all the time, but
Every day.
my life is like upside down now.
Yeah.
I used to be a 6 o'clock dude,
Yeah.
but I'd be maybe getting out of bed at 6:30 these days.
Yeah. But anyway, the golf club was a political nightmare because there's members.
Yeah.
And they have expectations, and so, the proper renovation work hadn't been done on this golf course for 10 years. So they started struggling with putting greens. They had this, what they call a black layer in their soil profile. So essentially after time, all the compaction, all the composting matter from the grass clippings and that will compact down, and it'll end up turning sulphurous, and rotten egg gas comes out, and it just poisons everything. So they hadn't done the right work to start with. So I said, look, someone else gave me another offer, which is where I am now. So I'm looking after a rugby union club 3 days a week.
Yeah. Which club is this?
It's Kenmore.
Okay.
Over in the west of Brisbane, Chapel Hill there.
Yeah.
So I went, look, this is not for me anymore. So I do 3 days a week at a rugby club, and now that it's nearly winter, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
Nice. But so the future, I think I would like to keep doing select renovations. I'm not going to beat the shit out of myself anymore.
Yeah.
I turn 50 next year. My body is saying, slow down, bro.
Yeah.
And you obviously still have your online business, which can carry you through.
Well, the online shop, the ourbiggreenshed.com.au, has only been going probably a month, 6 weeks.
Okay.
So we're hoping that will build and grow, but as part of that, there's the social media side of that has to be done as well. So doing 3 days a week at a rugby club gives me time to do some stuff.
Yeah, social media is a massive part of it. Any new business these days.
Oh, it is, and it's
especially
and for anyone
business.
watching, if you're not doing social media, you're a dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like I only took over our social media, I think it was in November, and I was scared shitless. Now, people will always see me posting on LMCA, even if it's CatchPro stuff, but like I feel like I can be myself there. Yeah. And so it's not scary. I can just say my feelings. You know what I mean? Like I can be myself. When you're, got like a worldwide potential audience, it's scary. Yeah. And there's so much creative content now. Like I know I'm messing around with little videos, blah, blah, blah. Then here comes TBL and he's got fucking explosions and stars on his head, and, and I'm like, I don't even want to post my crap video now.
They're not crap.
So
I just got to put a bit of bling on to cover up this fucking mug of mine.
Everyone loves the mug, mate.
I've struggled for time with a lot of the social media. Like people say that the Lawn Fanatics should be doing more on YouTube, because we just generally at the moment are posting. We have a live stream we do every second Tuesday.
Yeah.
But it's so much, man. Like
it is.
Just this.
Where do you get the time to do it?
So with the live stream is because we used to go live, and we loved it. But one thing that we were always scared about was what we found was you kind of had to sit around for 10 or 15 minutes until people got into the session. Then it becomes reasonably interactive. But there's like that awkward period where it's like, should we just bail, or And
you kind of got to do. I suppose with the 80,000 members that we've got, we do a little bit of advertising for that. Like doing posts saying, "Don't forget the live stream is, the live stream will have. Are there any subjects you want to cover in the live stream?" So we do that a couple of times leading up to.
I think 2 times I've gone on to watch it, and I've been scared to comment because all the questions seem like real technical and everything, and I don't want to be like.
Well, we don't want
I don't want to.
When Lenny's on there.
And I don't want it to be like,
Turf Jesus.
He's like a turf genius.
Turf Jesus.
Turf Jesus.
He is unbelievable.
Yeah. I actually
stuffed that man.
So I was on there once.
So that was the night that I came on first because we weren't shooting on a Tuesday night then. Well, maybe we were. No, I don't.
Nah, we weren't shooting on
No, I don't
Tuesday
think
I
night.
think
were.
it was just before you guys
Yeah.
started this.
Yeah.
And I was like so happy. I brought some beers because some of the questions I was just like, fucking put that in your mouth so you don't look like you're not saying anything. Yeah, it is.
I'm pretty sure I was spamming you that night. I was just like, "Oh, buy a CatchPro," and I was waiting for someone.
He's given links to his beard bloody
Yeah.
products.
Yeah, hey, that's what it's all. Yeah, if you want to get any more plugs in,
Yeah, go for it,
do
mate.
it here because this is
Definitely the big green shed. So you're going to be doing bulk? Like we can, as contractors, we can be
Yeah,
like...
look, we'll probably work out some.
You got any fucking Roundup?
Yeah.
Well, I can get it.
Okay, because
I can get
hey,
anything. I can get anything, but at the moment we're working out of a small, very small premises, and stuff and like space is limited. So we do have.
Benny knows about that.
Well, mate, you'd be doing the same sort of stuff.
I'll tell you.
Eventually, we'd like to expand into bigger premises, and we'll be able to expand.
Ooh,
the
go
range.
halves in a shed. That'd be a good walk around.
Well, I just bought a 10-bedroom house, so
You can rent a bedroom.
so I'm hoping to be able to have, because it doesn't really suit our family lifestyle to work out of a work
Yeah.
space, because we've got 3 young kids, and we're like I said, we're sort of like I can the kids can come home from school and I can play with them for half an hour or whatever, and as soon as someone is naughty, cries or pisses me off, I can walk straight back into the shed and get building or doing whatever.
Yeah.
And it's only been a minute since I was with them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then once they cool down, I can come. I can help out with the baths, if and do bits and pieces. Like I could. That's the way it suits
Yeah.
us at the moment. Whereas if we had a work site, like considering the summer that we just had, I would have been there till 11 o'clock every night.
Yeah, and ultimately you got to have that work-life balance, and you're working to provide for a family, not for the family to provide you for your work.
Yeah, I mean, look, me personally, I'm committed at the moment. Like, I'm 36. I am really trying to, like, I know about all the work-life stuff, but I'm pretty committed to just getting CatchPro where it needs to be and really doing those hard
and then
yards.
reaping those benefits later down the track.
Yeah, or I just don't know how hard you can really go, or how long the market will sustain for.
Sort of the same with what I'm doing. It's like I'm trying to get it self-sustaining. Not self-sustaining, like I'm always going to be working. And
Your
always
OnlyFans
gonna-
page.
Yeah, oh my god, OnlyFans page. If my wife would let me do it, I'm sure there's a market for big, hairy, fat dudes out there.
Oh man, there is some fucked up shit out there.
Yeah, I definitely would do alright. I know that there's a guy who is on a job site and he stuffs his sweaty socks in his mouth and shit, and he makes a fortune. He doesn't even.
My goodness.
Oh, yeah, but that was on a lad, but I didn't go looking for that.
Yeah,
that was
is
on
that who you subscribe?
Yeah, no,
Yes, he did.
yeah. I'm taking
Yes,
that.
he
I'm
did.
taking his model. I'm taking his business model.
Who was it who tagged us in something the other day about the bloody hot dog?
Oh, the hot dog bukkake.
Yeah.
I said it's only for when guests are here.
Yeah, poor Lenny.
Lenny's the hot dog.
Yeah.
I'm tomato sauce. Are you mustard?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, to wrap this up, do you see yourself continuing to? Obviously, you're always going to be a part of Australian Lawn Fanatics. I think that's inevitable.
Yeah.
Do you ever see, the 3 days that you're doing at the moment? Do you ever see yourself turning that into something more, or are you going to be really focused on the online sector? To wrap it up,
It's currently trying to find the balance of time to produce the content. I really enjoy doing the sporting fields, but I am going to continue doing, I suppose, select renovations. So
you've got to kind of keep yourself true in a way as well.
But that also gives you an avenue to film that full content.
Yeah.
We know what it's all about.
Yeah.
I've just recently done a deal with BJ, and also passed on the rest of it to one of my workers. And one of the biggest things that I was so worried about was not that it wasn't going to go to a good home or anything like that, but if there's new hedge trimmers or new zero turns, or we come out with a new model CatchPro, am I going to be able to have sites to do my marketing or do my testing and, stuff like that. it's really important to me.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it would be very important to someone like yourself as well.
You can't put your name to it if it's shit. You got to know you got to know yourself that you've used it and you know it works.
Yeah, look, I think that's one of the most important things too. But I've got to be honest, like when I think this whole year I've only been doing maybe roughly a day on the tools, and out of that day maybe probably no more than 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I felt like the biggest kook even just last week. Like I'm trimming hedges and everything, and I was wasted, man. Like I could just feel everything burning, and I was just like, man, I'm not. And like, 5 years ago, I felt like a hedge trimmer was like an extension of my body.
Yeah.
Then I could do everything. But I was very, very much out of it. And
looks like there's a new sheriff in town.
yeah, and here's BJ just bloody you on the Bipper Dipper, mate. You can really cut it.
Oh, nice one. Yeah, really cut it. Very nice. Yeah.
I mean, same with all the boys, DJ and everyone. Yeah. But I see he's flying around and hitting all the edges and doing everything. And
get a camera out, start filming.
I'm too busy trying to fucking breathe.
I don't do regular mowing.
Yeah.
The stuff I do is scarified, like I rip lawns to pieces.
Yeah.
So the regular wiggly mows that you guys do, just not something I'll really do at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's a heck of a lot easier than what you're doing.
Yeah.
Even just carting around your equipment looks painful to me.
Yeah, everything weighs a lot. A lot. Like my aerator is 170 something kilos. It's self-propelled, but it's still bloody heavy.
Yeah, and you still have to fucking get it off the trailer, and you still, have to get it to the actual workspace.
Yeah.
Having the truck has really helped because it's got that little crane on it too. So getting somewhere and having 2 cubes on the back of the truck, and you're kind of shoveling from waist high. You're almost just scraping it into a top dresser.
Nice.
You're not shoveling off the ground anymore. And that's my rule with customers now. If it's more than a certain amount, you get a bulk delivery, and I hire a little digger and I load my top dresser with a digger because I'm not shoveling off the ground anymore.
Yeah, fair enough.
Do you find when you do these jobs for people, like, is anyone ever starstruck or?
Yeah.
How do you react to that?
I think it's funny because I still don't get it that people know me. Like I've had people come up to me in Melbourne Airport and want to have photos with me and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
cool. Because
I still genuinely think it's weird because I just try to just be me, just a guy. But
do you know Southside Mower Centre at it's on Lytton Road now? It was at like Cannon Hill. Now it's Southside Mower Centre. They're just down at Lytton.
It's near the creek there, the fish shop across the road. Yeah. I've been there a few times.
So I, am doing deliveries there, dropping off CatchPros, and like I pick up my own. Like I was picking up stuff for greenscapes. Like before we were doing blades, I'd get my blades, and I started to get oils and stuff from there. But was dropping off some CatchPros, and it's been hot as hell, right? A couple of weeks. And I'm driving there with my shirt off and just put it on in the car park and pulling the catches out. And I hear this, "Hey, Benny!" And I'll turn around and they're like, "Hey, is that Ben from CatchPro?" And I'm like, "Oh, don't be like that." Straight away.
I've gotten out of the truck somewhere and I heard this voice in the background, "Lenny!" Turn around and there's a guy like 7 houses down leaning off his balcony. How you going? No, I wind it up and threw a stubby cooler over to him.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. It's just that I am really not used to it.
I'm not.
Yeah.
And I've been on telly multiple times on the radio almost every second week. I'm on Sydney radio quite often.
I was almost in the newspaper once, but they cut me out. It was a photo shoot for my daughter. It was like a Marta Miracles thing.
Yeah.
And there was me. I'd just been to a 60s party, and I was an Australian fast bowler, so I cut the middle out of my beard, and I had this absolute killer mustache. It was like a big handlebar.
Yeah.
And they fucking cut me out. They cut me straight out of the photo. So it's just my wife and my daughter, and I was just gone.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Yeah, the pub, the I suppose the notoriety is something that I don't think will ever sink in. Like, if anyone wants to come and say hello, please just come and say hello. It's good.
Oh yeah, of course. Sounds super approachable. Just don't try and do any advertising because then he'll buy you.
No, you're right.
Times have changed.
Are you banned? Because you're probably one of 30,000 people who are banned from the Fanatics.
No. I was never. No,
And
I
I'm
was
not
never.
joking. There are 30,000.
No, I was always. I think I only might have asked once or twice, and I got it pretty quickly. Like I understood.
Yeah, it's got to be a fair.
I can't remember if it was you or we're going back a couple of years now, but I remember the explanation that I got was, look, this is really not a space that we want to be filled. Like we want this space to be where people can come and get the information that they need without being spammed like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
and I understood that.
Yeah,
pretty like.
There's an avenue there. Anyone can advertise on a Monday night, and
sure.
I throw the skull sessions up there sometimes too.
Yeah, do it, man. That's fine. No worries. Throw your lawnmower business up there. That's fine. If you're looking for customers, you might grab one.
Oh, maybe I'll put a job advertisement up there.
Mate,
it probably would work.
You can put a job up anytime.
Yeah.
Because that helps everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Now I'm going to do it before anyone gets fucking wind of this. Does it happen much?
What's that?
People putting jobs up?
Yeah, they usually message first and say, hey, look, it might be someone in a mowing shop or someone at a golf course or whatever. Or it happens. Yeah, for sure.
It's a good place to get enthusiastic people, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think we're getting ready to put a bow on this episode. Just once again, for all the listeners, what's this online business called again, pal?
OurBigGreenShed.com.au.
Beauty. And just quickly, what sort of products can they get at this website?
Fertilisers, fungicides, growth regulators, pretty much anything for turf nutrition and turf and garden nutrition.
Nice.
That sounds fantastic because there's been several posts of shortages of all sorts of chemicals and stuff. Lately. Yeah. So, if you've got the stock,
they have a huge amount of commercial quantity sizes.
Maybe you can work out something.
Yeah, I think there's a thing in the industry at the moment.
That's how you build.
That's right. In the industry at the moment, there's a product called DSMA, which has been changed from freely available to now it's a restricted poison because the DSMA, the A, is arsenic. Okay, so that's heavily restricted now. It's a restricted poison.
Yep.
So unless you are a qualified spray technician or have the right ticket, you shouldn't be allowed to buy it. You shouldn't be able to buy it. So
will you fucking sell it to me though?
Talk to me later. No, it's a lot of companies are pushing the line that there's a shortage of it, but there's really not. Okay. But they're just trying to really limit who gets it because they're in big shit if they sell it to someone.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. All right, well, I hope everyone out there enjoyed our episode today with Lenny Lawler. I know I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you so much for coming in.
No worries.
If he ever lets me off for Tuesday night, I might come back and have a few more beers on the car.
Maybe we should do a crossover.
Maybe.
I think we wanted to do, didn't we?
We tried to do a live. We tried to cross the streams on a live.
We tried to do it on a live. We don't go live anymore because we now shoot 2 episodes in one day. So by the time we go live, it's like fucking 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
But that would be, man, I would love to be able to do it. I know I would feel a little bit nervous, like, because I just don't know. You guys sound all so scientific and knowledgeable, and here I am. It's like, well, fucking buy CatchPro.
No, but I mean, there's the opportunity that you would talk about. I suppose blade design. What works better for different mowers. I know Wally he's worked in a lot of turf research stuff. He worked for Sports Turf Research Institute. He's worked for in the UK that they did. The like Choice magazine type thing where they find the best mower sort of thing, and he's done all of that crap. So
I know Glennie will have a beer with me, so I can pretend like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you sit on the edge, look like twins.
So if anyone wants to check that out, that's every second Tuesday. Now this is going to be, you'll be hearing this right now on a Thursday, so next Tuesday night. Get amongst the YouTube. Is it the Lawn Fanatics YouTube channel or is it?
It's on the we do it two things. We do live on the Australian Lawn Fanatics YouTube channel.
Yep.
And also live in the Facebook group.
Oh, okay, yeah. So on the actual Facebook, you're live on there.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's done
fantastic.
in my profile.
And then you
Okay, right. So
then you convert it to Spotify, don't you?
Gibbo hasn't been doing that for a while, I don't
okay.
think, because it's just a pain in the ass to do or something.
Yeah.
They're making it too hard to do things. So.
yeah, I mean, I know we face our issues. I don't produce the show at all. BJ
It's
handles all
normally
of that.
just technical difficulties that we have. So,
Yeah.
So
we do.
The editing time is
Yeah.
Well, we try and do.
Try and edit a 4-minute video can take 2 hours.
Yeah, well, we try and do a straight shoot unless one of us drops the bloody C-bomb or something.
Yeah, well, that's what we do with a live stream, you know, and we just roll it from start to finish.
No, it works well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am at CatchPro. He is at TBL, and we're out of time. Thank you very
I'm
much.
everywhere. See ya.
Peace.